What's good with you? I'm glad you came through. It's good to see you, man.
It's a matter of time. Like you was like, I'm in the town. I'm
Right.
like, I'm down the street. Literally, like just go down Big Bethel.
Oh, all right, all
And we,
right.
we right down there. So you ain't far.
Nope, not at all,
I'm
not
on
at
the
all.
patio, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up,
I'm on the patio.
yo,
Legit the patio. Your boy.
fam?
Hey, all day. You know what it is.
So you know we gotta take a toast and a shot to that for big things
There you go.
2023.
As always.
Salute.
So y'all don't think I'm a bitch. Like she took a shot, but this is all salted crown
Yeah,
straight. I
I'm
ain't
a
no
shooter.
mix.
I'm a shooter. I can't mix
So y'all
drinks.
looking at the solo cup like I'm cheating. Nah, I'm here.
Holla, see names and everything.
Uh-huh.
I'm so glad to finally meet you in person though. It's like hard to communicate because I don't want to take certain things that you say personally
Right.
because I don't know how you talk. So
Right.
it's better that is
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got to meet. See,
Always.
me and Black, we got to see each other on the
Yeah.
video. So
It's all good. It's all good. Um, I'm excited. I mean, your first, pretty much the queen of DFPN over here, ladies and gentlemen.
don't
The
make me
first lady of DFPN. So show respect.
am. Yes,
Show
I am.
respect.
But don't take me there because I could get thuggish too. Yes. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the patio. I'm your host, Kim, and I'm here with my company, Mac,
Yes, sir.
DFPN, That Feeling Podcast
In the
Network.
building.
Which one is yours? No, not no gimmicks.
No, we got the smoke pit.
The smoke pit,
But
yo.
yeah, so that's my homeboy Black Mac. Y'all know him on No Gimmicks. He does his rants on Patreon, all that good stuff, man. So shout out to Black for starting and coming up with the network and running it like he is.
Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, we'll shout out some more.
Oh yeah.
Let's get down with our conversation. I triple dog dare anybody that's out there viewing this right now to come ear hustle because I know it's going to be great and you're going to want to be in on it. So, I know you got some kids.
Yeah. Wait, before that, how about we play the intro?
Oh,
Let
shit.
them know what's going
That's
on.
right. That's right. My bad.
No,
I'm
but
all
this conversation
excited.
about to be lit. It's about to be a good a lot of perspectives,
Yeah.
outside the box stuff, things that I let me tell y'all. Well, let's play this intro and then we gonna get into it because I got some flowers to give to my my hosts here. But yeah, like the lady said, let's get into it. Episode 12 of the patio.
Yes.
All right, we back. We back.
All right, y'all. We back. We back. We on the patio. We chilling. We about to talk about some great stuff. Great stuff. I'm a single mom,
Mhm.
and I know you have children and a wife. Are
Right.
they all by your wife?
Yes, they are.
Okay, that's great. Because at one point I was in a blended family situation,
Mhm.
and it was difficult.
Right.
And all my life it's been dysfunctional. But we worked it out. It didn't seem dysfunctional to us until people would point it out to me, be like, that's not normal. I'm
Right.
like, it's normal to me.
Yeah, this is what I'm used to. Right.
Right. But I would always like to talk to somebody who grew up in a whole family. And
Right.
I know people say, oh, as long as you got the parent and you taking care of your kids, it's a whole family. But with me, I have two boys.
Right.
It's not a whole family because each of them are missing out on something that a man can give them that a woman can't, no matter how much people say I'm doing a great job.
Right.
So I would, I want to get your perspective from.
Um, I think where we mess up as a whole or as people is we always like to put labels on shit, right? So when you talk
Sure.
about a whole family, most people would be like, oh, that's a traditional family, the mom, dad, the kids and stuff like that. Or uh the what's the other word I'm looking for? But they're like, that's the default. Like when people say family, this is what they expecting, right? um this day and age, now you got, same-sex couples adopting kids, all of this other stuff. So some people don't agree with all that, but I'm just like, bro, if y'all happy together and y'all making this shit work, more power to y'all. I'm supporting that.
Because
Yeah,
as long as the kid is getting taken care of, that's the point. It
facts.
don't matter if it's two men, two women.
Right.
Is the child in a good, healthy environment?
Facts. But also, us both having done time in the military, we've seen the blended family, which is um a couple that'll start out together, right? They have their kids, things don't work out, they
Yeah.
move on. And so now the biggest thing is co-parenting,
Right.
is what they like to say. But
And it's hard.
right. Especially, you know, based on how the split happened, the separation. Like if it's a messy divorce,
Yeah, it's gonna be a
yeah,
messy. How I know I'm getting this kid on this, and you
right.
be like, the kid is not a born.
Right. Yeah, it's exactly how I've seen it several times in the military. Um Most of the time, and I'm not trying to throw stereotype out there, um the male will be the service member, right?
Right.
The woman will be the dependent, the
Dependent.
spouse.
Yes.
She's trying to get as much out of this thing as possible. And the
Right.
way to get that is to
It's
get that
having.
child support and
Yep.
getting the full custody of the child.
And then looking forward to part of their own alimony. So
Yep.
they like, mm-mm.
Yep. But I've seen it the other way too. It's rare, but the female will be the service member, and
I
because
actually
the
had a troop
dependent,
like that.
yeah, the dependent is like, I'm about to miss out on all the benefits and stuff I'm getting here. How do I keep that?
Right.
Let me get this kid. So now the kid, like you said, they're using he or she as a pawn,
Right.
and the kid doesn't deserve that.
The only thing excuse me, I don't appreciate happening, whether it's a man or a woman,
Uh huh.
that's the spouse, is okay, you have that military member's dedicated to you and they busted their butt to take care of you, and then you go outside and have an outside baby and expect that to be okay.
Right.
I've seen that too, and that's broken up a lot of um families and turned it into a whole nother blended type situation, and it could be messy.
Right. Well, I mean, this marriages in the military as a whole. I'm not saying a majority of them
Mhm.
end up being messy or some shit, but you've heard that thing like what goes TDY stays
Right.
TDY, uh, desert bunnies, deployment
Right.
bays, all this other
Island
shit,
queens,
and then
yeah.
they be back here in the states. The dependents will be rolling with some
Mhm.
people while they out there. So I mean, you hear the horror stories, but unfortunately, like they're not all made up.
Right.
Like the shit is real, and then they come back into some wild shit,
Right.
and
Had
then
that
like
happen.
they gotta divorce, like for the sake of people's happiness, because a lot of people they'll be like, it, if you want it bad enough, you can make it work. But then that puts a lot of people in a mental space where they're not happy because
Right.
your significant other cheated on you, but here you are trying to make it work, and
But you
you
can't do
going
that for
through,
the kids.
yeah,
And that's their
because if you're not
mentality.
happy, the kids will pick up on that.
Right.
You know what
And
I'm
a lot
saying?
of people don't understand that. They be like, no, I'm staying together for the family and for the kids.
Yeah,
And I'm like, but don't you realize your kid is picking up on that vibe? Anytime you have an argument in front of that kid is absorbing that. So that's a part of who they become.
right.
So yeah. Um, I got 11, 12 siblings.
Woo!
So it's blended all over the
You from
place.
Rhode Island originally?
Yes, born and raised
That's usually
Providence.
like a down south thing. The big
No,
families like
no.
that.
Providence. Well, my father,
Hmm.
he is number 11 out of 12 just from his mom.
Right.
And then he's got like five siblings from his dad's side. So,
Mm.
my mom's the oldest out of six, but our her great grandmother had 20 something kids.
Okay.
So I'm used to a big family. It's
Right.
just in the household, it's always been me, my mom, and my brother until she got married.
Yeah.
And I inherited a stepsister and a stepbrother. And me and my stepsister hated each other. She almost killed me. She
Y'all
almost kicked
y'all
me.
got beef to this day?
I don't know. I don't see her when I go home.
Uh
I only see her if one of my homegirls come in town. She's like
right.
glue for everybody that I used to hang with.
Okay.
So, but I hang out with my cousin, and me and her, we be rolling.
Yeah.
We be rolling. But back to my stepsister and me,
Mhm.
we didn't like each other at first. Her mom had passed away,
Mm.
and I don't know if my stepdad was seeing somebody when he met my mom or whatever. But either way, it was a real quick transition within months. We was living together, and then like a year later, they got married. But we didn't like each other for like the first, I'll say, like 4 or 5 months. And we got into like a fisticuffs on a balcony, and
Right.
she almost kicked me off the second floor balcony onto the steps. I
God
mean, we was
damn.
scrapping.
Who was at that? Was it just y'all two at the house?
It was me and her, my stepdad's niece and nephew,
Mhm.
and my stepbrother. They had all went out to party.
Oh, what up, Smitty? Tuning in.
Hey
We
Smitty,
see
how
you,
you
baby.
doing?
We see you.
What's good with you, boo? What's good with your fam?
Now was now you kind of hinted to it. Maybe I picked up on it, but I guess like her dad coming into a new relationship. Have you like sat and thought about where this animosity towards you came? Like, was it just to you or was it to your mom as well? Like, she didn't want to have any part of your family.
She was alright with my mom at first,
Uh-huh.
but then it flipped where me and her was cool, and she wasn't really feeling my mom, and I could understand because I wasn't either. But that was my mom,
Right.
so. But there was like, I don't know. It was crazy. It was dysfunctional. I don't want to get into it too much because I
Okay.
don't want to hurt nobody's feelings.
Right, right.
But it got to the point where she used to think she was white. Her mom died of cancer. She used to think she was white. She hung out with this girl whose family was racist and didn't realize it. I'm like, yo, what's going on with you?
Wow.
So eventually, me and her became cool. I mean, we had to share a room.
Yeah.
But when alcoholism's in play, and then I don't know anything about the Puerto Rican culture except for my buddies.
Right.
So being forced to eat certain things and do certain, I'm like, yo, nah.
Right.
I was bad.
We all were.
No,
we all were at that
put
time.
them my mom through some stuff.
That's crazy. Because you're like, she thought she was white and all that. I thought it was a sister.
She's
your stepdad was Puerto Rican or no?
Yes, he was
Okay.
Puerto Rican. But caveat to that, he adopted her. Her father.
So she was Puerto Rican too, or no?
Her father was Puerto Rican. Her mom was Cape Verdean, which is why I'm
okay.
Cape Verdean and all kinds of other stuff. But basically, that's Portuguese and African.
Mm-hmm.
So this girl was white. And the first time I went over there and I was peeping the scene and how her parents was talking,
mm-hmm.
I told my stepsister, I was like, yo, they racist as hell. I ain't finna go back there. And she was like, they not racist. I said, okay, you go back over there now that I've been there.
Right.
And after she did that, she came back, and all of a sudden she Malcolm X, power to the people.
She
like, you the brightest one out the crew, and you the most
right
black power. I know.
Had an epiphany over there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, but so like when you said you guys had to become cool, I guess, in order to just survive the household, sharing a room and everything. Like it was just her that came over in the blended family, or were there other siblings?
Her little brother.
Now, how was the relationship with that? With him?
I'm 11 years older than him, so he was like 4.
Oh, so that's kind of like the only family he really knew,
right? And
being
that's
that
where the
young.
complications come in because
Okay.
my mom decided to leave,
Hmm.
and she only took me.
Right.
And then, since I've been an adult, I found out there was a promise made that she didn't keep.
Mm.
So that's when the animosity came in.
How long did that relationship last? Your mom and your stepdad at that point?
Maybe 3 years. It's
Right.
as a parent, especially a woman, when you're single, you make certain sacrifices that you're not so proud of to make
Right.
sure your children is safe and taken care of. And that might have been her situation because she had just lost her fiance.
Uh-huh.
Um, so you know, it's a survival of the fittest.
Yeah, it's hard to really judge people when like they get in relationships and then they leave. But as a country, I think America is really super
Right.
just fixated on that shit. Like the number of times somebody's been married and all that other stuff. It's like let this person find their happiness however they find it. You know what I'm saying? Because the worst thing you want somebody to do is, I know the Catholic community is big on that. They're just, we can't get divorced because it's a bad look in God's eyes. And not only that, sometimes your values, like you
Right.
may not be Catholic, but
Values,
yeah, like you
morals,
said,
or whatever.
um,
You
the
might just
kids, I
say,
just
"I
don't want the
can't do
kids to
it."
just have
Right.
different parents and stuff. So people will just stay in situations where day by day they are hurting themselves mentally and emotionally just to keep up the appearance
Right.
that we're a happy family.
But see, on the flip side of that, um, there'll be times when a parent, I just lost my train of thought. A parent will make the sacrifice to leave,
Hmm.
but get punished for it.
Yes,
So,
in the public opinion, the
right,
court of public opinion.
right.
Oh, you just leaving your kids and stuff, like,
Hmm.
um, because I got family that's gone through that. Like they get involved with a person, and it's not even at marriage. You know, they just get involved. They have the child together with said person, and things don't work out. So now you in this weird custody battle, and say you lose the custody battle, right? And people just be like, so you just didn't want your kid?
Right.
Like
Seems like you don't know
you
what
don't know what this person
right.
just went through. This person is doing everything they can. And like we said, sometimes the other person just uses it as a pawn to make the other person feel bad.
And it sucks because it's mostly females that do that. But there's men out there that say, well, that's her kid because I didn't want no kids and she knew it. So it's on her.
Yeah.
And I know people that have been through that, and it sucks about that too because it also makes it hard to date. Like me, I had my second child at 38.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 47.
What up, Black? I see you in the comments, man.
Hey, Black, what's good with you? Hey, it's hard to date because they either don't have kids that age
Mm-hmm.
because they looking at grandbabies,
Right.
or they don't have no grandbabies, but their kids are
Grown and out.
yes,
Yeah.
or close to it. So they
Yeah.
looking at me
They don't want
like,
to start over.
nah.
Right. And I ain't gonna hold you, man. Because when we had my youngest, it was 2017, so I was 36. And my wife was just like, yo, we pregnant. And I'm just like, fam, we was almost there. Like we was almost there.
10-year difference. They was like, what the hell is you thinking?
Because my youngest at the time, my daughter, she was 10. And we coasting. I'm like, 8 more years, she about to be gone. And this is gonna be me and my wife. We're gonna live our dream, right? That was fucking grandeurs of delusion. Cause like my oldest is still with me. He going was at Virginia Peninsula Community College or whatever.
Yes.
So he's taking classes there. He's still in the house. My daughter's still there. It's all good. Y'all don't know how nice Kim is. She got these the AC going, trying to move it so it's not in my like
bad,
none of this stuff is bothering me at all. But she's just
I'm trying to be courteous.
Right. Like so just
so I apologize.
I appreciate it. No, it's cool. They get to see the behind the scenes stuff of how stuff
I'm
works here.
Not apologize for stuff.
No, be yourself.
I'm supposed to say other things. I'm trying to work on it.
Nah, be yourself. If you apologize, that's cool. Just know I am fine out here. I'm good.
All right.
I was doing. Listen, when we was in Arizona before we set my garage up right, I'm doing a podcast out there, and you know Arizona be hot as fuck. So like the summer months be kicking off.
It be like the
Bro, my garage be like 98 degrees, and we start filming at 8 p.m. So I'm trying to let it cool off.
That's
It is
Korea hot.
Bro, I be in that. Black can attest. We be doing this show, and my face be glistening on that camera, and I be like,
oh.
Just
Trust
sweating
me,
and shit, bro.
I gotta cut some slits of this plastic because I'm one of them people that I'll go like this and just shake it off. You be like, where'd all that sweat come from?
I be wiping my face. I be like, yo, I know people be watching this shit like, yo, he just, bro, just give it up, man. Just don't hurt yourself.
Extra white face cloth, throw that shit in your pocket.
I be out there with a whole gallon of water.
I don't care.
Hey, I gotta live. I
gotta. Heck yeah.
But
wait, I lose a couple more pounds, I'll be naked all summer. I don't even care.
You gonna
take all this
and go from the patio to the sauna.
You gonna be like, she ain't got no friends. I'm like, nope, I don't. Fuck you. I'm wearing this.
Rebrand the sauna. We out here.
That or the
he said homie was a rotisserie in that garage. I sure the fuck was a rotisserie in that bitch.
Shit.
But the show had to go on, goddamn it. But shit, what was you talking about?
Blended families, kids.
Yeah, I know we was on something, and then I had
mentioned how it's hard for me to date because
oh yeah, but
kids and stuff like that.
Like even as a parent, like you're just like fuck, we starting over. That's another 18 years. But I think in that sense it's different because when you look at it as somebody who's about to invest in a relationship, like even if they're young enough, like say 25 or whatever, and you talking to a individual who does have kids from a previous relationship, you got to take all that into consideration. Right. Like you can really enjoy spending time with this person and everything, but if you know in your heart you're not ready to be a part of that child's life,
and I've always stated
it's always better to just let that person know I ain't the one.
I've always stated that. Look, if you don't think you can handle this, you ain't got to stay.
Right.
But you need to let me know as soon as you feel that way, because we don't need to go no further. My first child's father died when he was almost 4.
Wow.
So every guy was like, well, I'm not trying to be his daddy. But I ain't never asked you to be his fucking daddy. He got a daddy. He know he got a daddy. It's not my fault. Rest in peace.
Right. Yeah.
So, dudes would actually latch on to my son and take him and do stuff and whatever. But I'm a saboteur.
Right.
So once I sabotage
saboteur,
then it's fuck you and the kid. And
right.
I'm like, dude, he ain't do nothing.
Right.
At least ease off of him. You ain't gotta have no interaction with me. And
right.
Say, yo, can I come get your shorty? Yo.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, not a lot of dudes feel that way. I feel like if they are not a dad, like when I had my first kid, like it just awoken something in me, right? So I was in tech school when my son was born, and the only reason was because when I was doing the recruiting thing, when they was like, oh yeah, man, like the due date, you'll be in tech school, man. I used to be there. We used to let people take leave and go home to watch their kid being born. I was like, bet, well, let me go then. Yeah. Then when I got to tech school, I was like, yo, my son's what's up with this leave? They was like, nigga.
They was like, they sold you a lie. Wolf tickets right here.
That motherfucking tech sergeant looked at me like, who the fuck said that shit? My recruiter back he was like, he got you.
My recruiter tried to talk me into that whole, if they push you too long, you supposed to say time out or whatever. I was like, I ain't finna go down there. This girl in my flight tried to walk away. She was like, I want to go home. They was like, where you from? She was like, Kansas. They was like, go ahead, Toto, go back to Kansas. And she started walking. They was like, where you going?
Trying to walk out that gate like
we had to do
you about to be that AWOL.
Rhode Island for basic training.
You stop.
I called him Romeo. Yep.
His
parents called the police, and when the police came and got him, they was like, "You got 2 choices: jail or go back to basic." He got back to basic. We was already in our blues. He's 0 week. We was like, "Yo, Romeo,
start over."
Yep. Bad enough you showed up with hickeys because you hooked up with my roommate at the hotel.
You wildin'.
And she was going to the Marines.
You wildin'. Like there been nights when I've been sitting there, I'll be like, man, what the fuck did I do? how the fuck do I get out of this shit? But I mean, it's back then it was like 6 weeks, and the only reason I jumped in that shit is because I'm going through, like, my wife was pregnant at the time, so I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna need some help with this shit, bro. I need stability because running these streets ain't it. You know what I'm saying? So my dad and my older brother, they was Marines, so they was just like, hey, come through. And I was just like, bro, y'all doing that 13 week of that hell shit?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm cool. I appreciate your service, but I ain't doing that shit.
I ain't running nowhere with no
rucksack. Shit about the Marines. I love them. Y'all do what y'all do. It take special people to do that shit.
Simplify.
It takes special. In your heart, you got to know I'm meant for this shit. And in my heart, I know.
In my heart, I know. Be ready to be broke.
Because we was stationed in South Carolina, where everybody east of the Mississippi go for Marine training, and they be out there in that humidity, standing out there with them fucking sand fleas and them gnats on them and shit. They be at, don't break bearing, man. I'm gonna be like,
been
this
the
ain't
first
it.
One on the ground talking about.
I've been slapping my face.
Shoot, in basic training, we was doing our little drill thing to see who was gonna win.
Yeah,
I accidentally went like this. Oh, they was right in my face.
You, bro. Yeah, it's wild, man. I ain't Navy and Army. They was like 9 weeks. That Air Force dude was like, hey, man, we over here 6 weeks, and you get paid the same. E3 in the Air Force, E3 in the Marines, same pay. I was like, say less.
Army was trying to get me. They was like, you know how much what you going to Air Force for? I said, well, I need a little discipline because I'm wilding out, and I'm not trying to be pregnant or dead or in jail while I'm here. So I need that. And then I was like, I'd like to travel and get money for school. Oh, we got all that, and we give you double what. I was like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't feeling it.
They finna throw that enlistment bonus at you.
I
and that
like,
freak,
no,
that running joke. Get that 40,000 and that charge.
Yep.
If you deploy within the first 2 years, you getting that charge, and you finna deploy because that's when all that Iraq shit was going on too. They about to send your ass straight over there, right out of basic.
Get somebody else to do it.
But it was tough, and I mean, so when my son was born, we was at tech school, and that's when John Q came out with Denzel Washington, and that motherfucker he was going ape shit to save his kid. I was in that theater. Around all the bros, all the broskies was there looking at me and shit. A snot in my nose. Just save the baby. Just give him the heart. Just nigga, what's wrong with you? I was like, y'all niggas don't understand because y'all ain't got no kids,
right?
I haven't even
colored girls. I was in there bowling when that man held that baby. I was like, no, don't trap the babies. I thought it was real for a second.
That's what I'm saying, man. Once you become a parent, that shit clicks in. So it's like single people who don't have them kids, I can see it being harder for them to want to be involved in like to want to just jump in there because one, that's not their biological kid. So they're like, I'm not really and I've seen some. There are some outliers where they bro, this is my kid.
The ones that can't have
right.
But those are rare dime a dozen.
Right. What up, Jamie? I see you tuning in.
Hey, Jamie. Thank you so much.
I got her. She was stationed with me in Eglin, bro. She went right through BMT. Like she was at the unit for like 2 weeks. They was like, "You ready to go to Iraq?"
Oh, damn.
And we was already over there. So like she got there.
What is your career field?
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. Well. That's a.
I was a Pop-Tart in tech school. That's what I got to say. I got there 2 weeks early. I was there for 8 weeks instead of 6.
That's how they played me. I got there
Mississippi
a week before Biloxi, right? Yeah, I got there a week before. They was like, your class don't start so you on AFI, so you just picking trash and shit up in your. Bro, we was in our BDUs with that fucking blues trench coat.
Oh,
because it was cold. No. It was January, so we was just out there looking all kinds of ridiculous.
I got there in March,
and then after we graduated, I still had to wait for my order. So then I was just chilling again for another 2 weeks, and they just had me on stairwell guard.
I was so damn gullible and ignorant. I didn't know I had to buy my plane ticket to go wherever I was going on leave, and then go on. Nigga, I thought the Air Force paid for all that shit. I had last minute. I had to go get a loan. No, nothing.
You said that, so when y'all giving me the money for
my
ticket?
Like, when you go leave? I was like, oh. They was like, you got to be out by this date. It was like Friday, and they told me like a Tuesday. I was like, oh shit.
You was like, I want to go home. They're like, all right, take your leave.
Mind you, I'm
And
20
you
years
chilling?
old and don't know shit.
I want to take leave. Air Force is like, all right, that's cool. I'm gonna go home. Have fun.
Yep. And I'm just sitting there.
So where my shit at to go?
They're like, you buy that. You fly out from wherever you get to. We'll send you. I was like, oh.
What up, Deontay, man?
Hey,
Thanks for
Deontay,
checking
what's
in,
good with
checking
your
in with the
fam?
peoples, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Gotta come on through.
man. Yeah, but I I can see, like I said, it's rare, but I've seen the instances where somebody will get involved with somebody with kids and wholeheartedly embrace that child. And I've seen a couple of times, and it's weird that I know 2 times where that didn't work out, but that person would still be a part in that child's life.
And see, that's the issue. Even with my second child, I've had a guy that was involved with him and promised him after we broke up that he would still come through. And so my son held on to that. To this day, he'll say, "Man, I miss bro," because that was his nickname.
Right.
Now, granted, him calling him bro when we dating, that's a little weird. But I started looking at him more like just a homie. So I was like, yo, I've gone as far as I could with you.
Right.
But, I kind of broke his heart, but I forced myself to be his friend so that it wouldn't hurt. And we still ended up being cool.
That's cool.
But
let me ask you this though. Like, has there been times where you would have to prepare your child, like you're seeing somebody and they get that relationship with the person you're seeing? You know it's not working out with said person. Do you have to start preparing your kid to be like, hey, this is the move I'm thinking about making?
I had to
this
do
may
that
change
with the older one. I was engaged when I got here.
Oh.
And, after some investigation stuff and confronting him about it, the motherfucker was married. He didn't live here. He lived in North Carolina, but we was, man,
fellas,
I knew him for 4
fellas, we got to
years.
do better.
Wait, he confessed about he didn't. Well, I'll put it this way: he said, "Yeah, I've been married," but he never said he was divorced. So I assumed he was still married. And by the way, seeing I told you I didn't have any kids, I was actually hiding my pictures. I got 3 kids: a 17-year-old and a set of twins that are 12. I'm like, these kids ain't even motherfuckers. He need DNA test for because they was just
right.
Man, it's hot like fish grits. So I went to my little one, which is my older one now, and I was like, I need to talk to you. Da da da. He took the shit better than me. He had finally got to the point where he like, I don't care as long as they make you happy. I don't care. And my younger one, he's more of a mama's boy than that one.
Right.
So he used to fight dudes. He'd be like, I mean, he smacked the dude in the face once. Now this dude like 15 months old. The dude went to give me a hug. He whack him.
Oh yeah,
that's
protecting
my
the mom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he told me, you need a boyfriend. And I was like,
the youngest?
Yes. He told me last year when he was 8. He was like, Mom, I think you need a boyfriend. I was like, oh yeah? Why? He was like, because I think you need somebody to make you happy. But I also, they take me places. That's what he thinking about. He like, I want my relationships with the dude. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry I can't give that to you.
Right.
Because me and his father had only been hanging out for like a couple months. It wasn't like we was in a exclusive relationship.
Right.
So, he didn't want no more kids. I got pregnant. He knew I could get pregnant. So he loved me. But, he keep in touch now. But it took him a couple of years to, accept it.
Right.
So, if their own father can't do it wholeheartedly, 100%, it's hard. Because my 9-year-old, he has profile. If I felt comfortable with him being on the patio, you would be surprised the conversations we have. And, he asked me one day, well, what year did I meet my dad? And I told him. His buddy was like, oh, you was like 3 years old. And my son was like, yeah, I know. I was like, yo, what made you ask me? And he was like, it was a song. And in the song, the guy said he met his mom in 1982 or something like that. And that just made him think about asking. I'm never going to tell him that his father was like, because I didn't get rid of him.
Right.
Never going to tell him that.
Right.
But it's like he know part of him know he just ain't old enough to want to ask, and that's the hard part.
Right.
So
The level of maturity that your youngest, based on what you're telling me, is where some grown men be at.
right,
You know, I know, but I don't want to know.
right,
You know, I don't know how I'm gonna react. I've seen that numerous times. Like even like I just started this shirt thing, and some of the things that we deal with, members will come in and talk to us and be like, "I'm suspecting something,
hmm
but I don't want to look into it."
right.
Because they love said person.
Oh, I
You
just
know,
went through that.
I mean, they're just in here like there's a lot of suspicious things my spouse is doing. Like, okay, well, we can't do anything
Right.
based on suspicions,
You
right?
gotta have facts.
You got to have facts, and they're like, I don't want to get them. They're like,
hmm
okay, so what's going on here? Like, why are we
Why you
talking
coming?
right now? And they're just like, just to talk, just to
Oh, yeah, just
it's
to
one
get
of
it
the
off my
yeah,
chest.
it's one of those like they don't want to go to a chaplain or whatever, and like I'm all for it. Like I'm like close the door.
hmm
Here,
I'd rather you talk to
right?
me than it get escalated.
Yeah. So you know, that's cool. You talking to me. I'm aware of the thing. I can't act on it,
hmm
but because you want to talk to me about it, giving me a heads up in case you want to go further with
Hey,
whatever.
I had to bail one of my true husbands out of jail one time.
Mm,
Try to keep it on a hush, but you know.
right,
And then they were struggling. I brought a whole bunch of groceries over there. You know, if I got it, I'll give it.
right,
It's just I'm finally learning not to give my cup
right.
just the run over part, and I'm trying
Hmm.
to make that sure that they only stop at a certain point before that runneth over.
Right.
Because the situation I just went through, I had already got my heart broken by the dude. So, but
Hmm.
I took him back because we was great friends. And at first we were just staying friends, and then when we got intimate, that's when it got complicated again.
Right.
And he ended up doing the same shit that he had did
Prior.
prior.
Right.
So, but I had told myself, you wait, you mark your time until you get to the point where when you walk away, you not going back. So
Hmm.
I paid attention to certain things. I had always told him, look, I know you. I know your body. I know your mannerisms. I know when you say certain things that you hiding something. He didn't believe me.
Right.
So I just let it go. And then finally, I got to a point where I had to ask him about it because I was going through an episode. I didn't have my medication. And at first he told me no. And then he told me yes because he wouldn't let me come over.
Hmm.
And I snapped. I ain't even gonna lie.
Mm.
I had a plant of his. I brought it back, and I electrocuted myself. I don't have full function on this side, so I'm trying to get this heavy ass pot up the stairs in the front. And I thought when I tossed it up, it would land on his long mat, and man, it landed on the landing stuff. Pow! Broke. I hard ass to my chuck. Toot toot. I'm done. Left because I did not mean for that shit to break, but
You
you
ain't
know,
about to catch me out this
right?
motherfucker. Yeah.
Because I'm bipolar,
Right. Right.
so
Right.
when certain medication ain't there, it is I fight
Mm.
in, to keep myself together until I can get my refills,
Right.
and he knew that, and it had been day 6.
Uh huh.
That's when I broke. I can't do it no more. I've been holding this shit in all week,
Oh.
so needless to say, I lost a great friend
Uh huh.
in an aspect. Even though I told him he ain't shit, he ain't no friend or nothing.
Right.
But
Do you think?
I
Do you think?
got more clarity, so I know that I've matured because now I know exactly what I need to do to look for. Because I should have cut him off way back a year ago.
Right. Do you feel um that if you didn't bounce like I'm out, like y'all could have probably talked some shit through, not to save the relationship, but to at least be like,
I don't know.
because in the heat of the moment, like you know what I'm saying, like motherfuckers will overreact, not just you, but
I like,
he probably would have overreacted as well. Like man,
we shared a
yeah,
lot. We shared spiritual stuff. We shared like secret stuff that a lot of people don't know about each other.
yeah, yeah,
We shared a genuine friendship. physical, mental, emotional,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that, and spiritual. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, I ain't never shared all of this with nobody.
Right.
So it was devastating that it happened. So what brought me back to him was the spiritual side. So now that you did this shit again, I don't know that I don't feel safe with you anymore.
Mm.
So if I don't feel safe with you anymore, there's no need for me to be around you. Because I'm an empath.
Yeah.
So I feed off of energy. If your energy is off, I'm trying to get away from you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I used to tell him that. I'm like, wait a minute, you was just cool. Now I'm out because
I'm all about that too. Like
I'm
I
about to get on
feel
your nerves.
I feel letting someone have access to your energy is a privilege. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm not vibing with you and I don't feel right,
Right.
like discussions have to be made and you have to understand where I'm coming from or I gotta go. Cause like you just gotta it took a while for me to get in life where I'm just like, you just gotta protect your peace. Cause I've just been like, let me help this person out.
Right.
Let me do like I've always been very empathetic. Just hey, how can I help you out? And it's taken out of my cup, like you said. So it's not the running over part, it's the actual cup. So my cup is becoming empty because I'm pouring into somebody else's. And I think that's how I was raised, Christian household. Always do what you can, good Samaritan, bless somebody, give everything you got because it's going to come back to you later. I know you don't want to. Yeah, I know you don't really dive into the religion on your shit, but it's one of them things where it's like it's
I'm
in
Jewish
the church.
and Pentecostal.
Yeah,
growing up.
it's one of them things where like in the church it's just like they're asking you to give your tithes, which 10% of your thing, and then like the offering comes around, which is like extra, and I'm just like, bro, I got
and
a whole budget.
some places got 3
And then after
offerings.
that, they be like building fund. Right. Then after that, I'm like, bro, and if you plant this seed, God is going to give you more. So just give what you can. If you feel uncomfortable, that lets you know that God is about to, and you're just like, that's how you're raised.
They make you.
That's how you're raised.
Guilty.
So you're just, if you're just like, I ain't got it. Like, because my relationship with God now is like, he know.
I just
I give what I can. I give what I can, or I bless somebody up to where I can, to where it's not compromising me and my family. And I feel God understands that. And if he don't, when I get up there, we had that conversation. But I ain't gonna let nobody guilt me into just going broke.
Right. I'm more spiritual.
And then just
than I am
my
religious.
rent I ain't got my rent because I gave it to old buddy, but God got me. I've seen too many individuals jump out on faith like that to just fall on their face.
Because they didn't pay attention to if God said
God got me. It's cool. No, hey,
you can't.
You got a foreclosure thing on your house.
Ain't doing what you need to do.
Car note up. It's cool. God got me. Because the church ain't gonna come save you. You gave your car note to the church. Right. That's the whole thing. But back to the it's the disk space thing for the recording. Anyway, but it's wild to see I think America's view on blended families. I think nowadays it's coming around, like America's becoming more acceptable. They talk about it's a liberal aspect, but I just think it's humanistic. Like how I look at it, if it's not bothering me and mine, and y'all are happy and y'all making it work, 2 dads, 2 moms, transgender, whatever, the kid is happy.
Even them people in Utah that have like 5, 6 wives.
Kids are happy. They're cool with it. They're coming up normal. I feel the more diverse a family is, the more acceptable that the children will be to new shit. You know what I'm saying? And that scares a lot of traditional Americans, conservative side, that just want the mom, dad, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve type stuff.
Right.
But blended families, I feel they bring another aspect into it as far as, for example, your family, the stepdad coming in, bringing the Puerto Rican aspect into it, their culture and things like that. So I know blended families, Black mom with their kids, and she starts seeing a white dude, and not saying like white culture or anything, but it's just a different aspect. Like it's
something you're not used to.
And it exposes the child to something different and allowing them to accept people for who they are instead of like it is what it is. Because even for me, like just interracial relationships, coming from the South, like it's, a lot of Black girls or Black women nowadays, they used to, not like the fact that I married outside of my race. My wife's Filipino, right? So they just assume, oh, you met her, when you went to Korea or something. Like, no, like this was high school. Like we've been married 21 years.
Don't assume just because I'm in the military. But it's just
like, you don't know, you're not married to us. You like, you don't understand what, like, it's one of them things, and it's sad, but.
And see, like, up north, it's the opposite, because we're so interracial, up north, So
so it's one of them things where, like, I look at families that do make it work, like blended families, the co-parenting aspect. Like I have a few friends that do it, and they do it. It's amazing to see when they post on Facebook, like they take trips together, like. The two couples are friends, and you see all the love that their child gets. And like one was like a daddy-daughter dance, and both the biological father. Oh my God,
that's
bro! I couldn't give that enough likes.
Of offering I have to a guy. Like I dated a guy that had a kid.
Right.
I was like, yo, use me if you need to get him somewhere and you can't go and she can't go. He was like, nah. Okay, well, you missing out on an opportunity that you may not get from another woman. But I'm always misunderstood, so I don't share a lot of myself as far as my mental, physical. I don't.
Right, you just protecting your energy.
I'm horny. I'm gonna get it.
And there's levels to that, right? Because some people, they place intimacy, like physical intimacy, with like emotional intimacy, mental intimacy. Like they're just like, oh, if we smashed, we on the same page. And then because I think a lot of one night stands will end up that way if both people aren't real honest with it. Like I think it'll start with that. Yeah, we just here for this, right? And then sex will happen. Like there's a tie that happens either with both or one. Like one person will just look at that and be like, since we had sex, we a couple now, or we got something going on, or it's like the other person's like, can 100% complete the physical from the emotional side.
I've been like that,
right? And that's where the blended family part comes from, right? Like, yeah, you catch old girl or old boy out, babysitter got their kids, so they get the hotel or the kids somewhere else, and then y'all have that night, right? And then all of a sudden it's just like, what up? My kid's coming back. Oh shit. So now you just like, what do I do? Yeah 100%. So I guess it's just tough, because you just need an emotionally secure person to be able to either 100% be honest with you. If you're the person with the child trying to get into a new relationship, be honest with that person, right?
I'm transparent like a mug, and they be like, "Oh, you say too much at the beginning." I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna let
to the last minute." Yeah,
look, I'm bipolar. Don't fuck with me. I am a saboteur. We ain't got no
surprises happening around here.
I'm a saboteur. If I have emotional outbursts, you better ask me if I took my meds that day. All of that.
Yeah, so Jamie tuned in. She's like, her baby daddy and his girlfriend join us for the holidays regularly, and that's a beautiful thing.
That's what's up. That's respect.
I see it, and I'm just like, I can't like this enough, because that's what we need more. Like people to just be mature, be like, yo, let's make these kids happy,
right? Because it's about them. You gotta figure.
Let's make
what
them
they're
happy.
Gonna look like as an adult.
I want them to look at me and see, hey, my dad is happy with who he's with, and my mom is happy with who she's with, and they both love me the same. It is what it is.
And that child needs to see how each one is treated.
Yes.
Because if you're raised where you don't see either the father or the mother being treated in a respectful, loving manner, then how are you gonna know what to do?
Also, I feel older? Yes, that's exactly it. Because now that child's just like, so when they were together, they weren't happy, and the kids feel that. Because me and my wife, like, there was a time where we were like debating divorce, and my kids were picking up on that, and you can see it affect them emotionally. My son, who was like in kindergarten, was like acting out in class a little bit. So, we went to counseling and we got all that figured out. But like for a kid like in Jamie's situation, I'm just assuming, but the kid is just like, so if I'm in a relationship and I'm not happy, it's okay for me to leave and go find some place to be happy instead of toughing it out for the kids, which again, it's court of public opinion. That's what they want you to do.
Grumble.
Hey, you got them kids. Why you just leaving them kids?
Why dad's sleeping on the couch and you sleeping in the room? Stuff like that.
Fam. Yeah. So, Jamie, good on you for that, and for your ex that y'all can get along like that. Thank you. Yeah. Deontay times and he says, got to break those generational curses.
Exactly.
That's a big part, man.
I never wanted to be a single parent, but I had only been in the military a year when I got pregnant.
Right.
And the counseling I got was, it's going to be too tough for you to get a humanitarian to go back to Boston, which is still an hour away from where your family is. And if you got something that you got to do
to help with the kids
in
or
15
something,
minutes, they ain't going to be able to get there, blah, blah, blah. So, if you can get rid of it, or I know a nice white couple that wouldn't mind adopting a black baby.
Shut up.
I hadn't even decided if I was going to have my son. I went home and told my mama.
They already had a couple talk about they'll adopt your baby.
Yes. Now, this is a master sergeant, a superintendent counseling me, female.
Furniture would have had to move in that office, bro. Furniture would have been
I went home after work. I called my mama and told her I was pregnant. That was the moment I decided I was going to have my older one. I was like, no, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Right.
That I can do this and still be in the military.
Yeah.
So as my punishment, he got sick. And so they didn't put me in for senior airman. The
below the zone thing.
Yeah, below the zone. Because I would have, if they knew I would have made it.
Right.
But I would have put it on the next month.
Yeah.
And they was worried about my weight. Don't worry about my weight.
Yeah,
give me my money.
Right. That's a whole nother topic, that thing. But for them to come at you like that, it's weird. And again, that's kind of where
every base I went to.
That's kind of where it was at the time. And I think they're trying to get away from that. The whole mission,
every base,
like, because they're real big. People always mission first, or people first mission always type thing. But it's all about what can you do for the Air Force before what we. But I think they're trying to do what they can to get away from that. But it's going to take a whole lot to change that mindset.
When I got here, I had a civilian who used to be a chief. Some of the airmen would be cool with him, so they come in and talk to him or whatever. And a couple of them got pregnant, and they didn't know what they was gonna do. He said, if you want to know what the Air Force is like being a single parent, go ask Sergeant Waters. And I told him, I said, it is not.
It's not.
It's Guns and Roses. It is not pretty. I said, you gotta have thick skin and be able to stand up for yourself and not care the consequences. I was never political, so I ain't care. I did my job, and if you came at me the wrong way, I don't care what rank you was. I was coming back.
Right.
So. Some of them, they all decided to keep them, but some of them decided to go reserve.
Right.
Some of them just finished their contract and went on their way.
Yeah.
But I never lied to them. I've told them about the worst supervisors. I've told them about the great supervisors.
Right.
I told them about the sacrifices. They couldn't deal with it. I was like, hey, I done left my kid almost every year up until he was 5 years old.
Yeah, that's it. You got a family care plan, better enact that shit. And there's some sensibility that needs to come in with that shit. To me, again, I'm just a E7 in this shit. There are people with stars and birds and all that other shit up in higher places getting paychecks I'll never see in my life, that are making decisions like that. But I think the military does need to take a look at as far as offering things to help individuals when they do run into family issues, because just being in the military opens the door to like just non-ordinary family situations like that you're not going to see outside the military. Not saying these things can't happen, but the military just be putting people in positions where
they sometimes they break up the family because of how they make their decisions.
And members will bring that up, and they're just like, sorry, we need you to do this. You should have had a family care plan, or we have this counselor for y'all to talk to. Like it's one of them things where like common sense needs to come in, but at the same time, bro, if the mission need to get done, the mission need to get done.
You went like this,
right?
So you know what's up.
That extra, we give you the benefits. So it's a gray area in between that they're trying to find.
Right.
And I don't think they'll ever get there because you can't please everybody. Right. You have people that'll start trying to take advantage of the shit.
Shoot, I'm jealous about how they can wear their hair down now.
Oh.
Shoot, I was like, hold up. I said that one number of my generation that made that decision. I said, because I know a bunch of girls that was tired of chopping their hair or putting weave in.
They was getting out talking about, bro, my headache from having my shit pulled back every day for 8 hours straight. Yep. Losing my hair, all that stuff. Air Force was just money like, for that. Yeah. Air Force like, all right, cool. You can wear your hair down. I'm just trying to get to where I could have my beard, like I got my little shaving waiver and shit, but they was making me go through hell for that shit.
Yeah, they
was like, shave it with a razor for 7 days straight, and then we'll reevaluate you, bro. I was out there,
bullshit.
Like my face was
bubbled all up red,
buddy shit, bro. I was going to work. They're like, why the fuck are you like, bro? That's what they want me to do to get this goddamn thing, man. So,
and then they would literally be like, you got a shaving waiver on you. I'm like, come on now. Just let it go. Why you
on me? Yeah, I got a chief that's asking that. Like I know there's waivers and shit, but I know some people are taking advantage of the fact that they're more because like you pull up to the gate now, that motherfucker like checking my card. I'm looking at him like, nigga, how'd you get that?
Right.
I want that.
Right.
They're looking like my man right here at the gate.
Like, yo, I'm like telling you to do nothing with it.
Nobody said nothing to you.
You ain't even got it.
Let me see what your waiver say. I'm gonna compare because my shit say like 1/8 of an inch.
Right.
Your shit, I'm like, bro.
Where
your shit
is AFI 36 29? I
don't want to have to lie and be like I'm Muslim just to get a beard, but I'm tempted because the way they be coming at me. I'm like, bro, I just don't want bumps, bro. Like, let me live.
They used to come at me about my.
I be working hard, man. Like,
your bun is hitting your collar.
The collar, yeah.
I got long hair. If I do it up here, then it's gonna be hurt. Oh well, it's too far out. Well, what do you want? I ain't cutting it. What do you want?
But I do want to hit on something before we try to wrap everything up. I know we were talking before. You were like the dysfunctional families.
Oh,
I don't know if you want to.
Yes,
okay.
I do.
All right. You mentioned something as far as single parent households are also.
They're considered
the dysfunctional families
because that fatherly unit is not there. And I know it all depends on how that woman is and how that woman treats that kid, but regardless, it's still dysfunctional because, like with me, I got 2 boys. A man needs to be there to show them, 1, how a man's supposed to treat a woman, 2, how a man's supposed to groom themselves, keep their hygiene, keep their area, stuff like that. I can yell all day and they like, that's just mom.
Right.
Pop say something, let me get to it. And that's what I go through with my little one. The older one be like, that's your mother.
Right.
Why you just can't do what she say?
Right.
And he just be looking at both of us like, what you talking about? I ain't trying to hear nothing you say. I'm like, dude, you are killing me.
Right.
Killing me. He loved me to death, but he give me the blues. And it been like that since he was little. I mean, 2 years old, my aunt saying, why don't you listen to your mother? You always give her a hard time. And, he's 9 now. He told me he wanted to move to Miami. I saw his high school years. I thought, oh, hell no, you don't get Miami.
I would have hit him like your T.I. did in Basic. How you getting there?
Right.
Take you to that bus stop right there. Yeah.
Like that. Like, he has a deep concern for me, but at the same token, he's a sexist. He don't think women can do much of anything. And so when he hear it from me, he like, oh, whatever. He hear it from a man, the same exact thing. He'd be like, "Mom, so and so said." I'd be like, "I told you that already." And he'd be like, "No, you did." He wanted to argue, and I'm like,
Right.
"Oh my goodness." So it's real hard. And on the flip side, a man has to be able to show a little girl how to treat a woman so that she'll know how a man's supposed to treat her when she
Right.
gets older. And then whatever that woman is, hopefully she's able to show that little girl,
Yeah.
how to do womanly things when she's not with her mom. Because you don't know
Right.
what the situation is between each parent.
Yeah, I feel the single parent household is being glamorized to an extent, right?
And it should be because it's
And
a big
right,
boy.
right. And I say that knowing the responsibility of just being a parent as old, because like me and my wife together, like we understand being a parent's a big thing, like sacrifices you got to make to do this and that. um I also understand and am thankful that I do have a wife to kind of help shoulder those responsibilities of raising a child. But at the same time, like you said, there are just, as a father, there are things you need to be able to do. um when because my oldest, when I would deploy, he would always give my wife a hard time. Dad's gone. Dad's not here. Let me cut the fuck up. Um, then it came to a point where, like, later on, like 2012s and stuff, deployments, you'd have uh Skype,
Yeah.
Skype and shit like that with the little raggedy Wi-Fi they would give you. So it'd be choppy, but you can see and talk. Um, so she'd be like, she would just use Skype to hit me up and be like, talk to your son.
Oh, okay.
Because she would say shit, it ain't clicking. I would say it, all right, yeah, you're right, Dad. Like, it shouldn't have to be like that. And I don't know if it's because he is in a two-parent household where it's like dad is here, he can tell me what to do, but mom can't. To whereas a single-parent household, if like with your oldest, all he knew was you, so that's why he's on this level of respect to be like, mom told you to do stuff, right? Because even to this day, like my wife will tell the kids to do something like, yo, it's 10:30, time to turn the game off and go to bed. They'll be like, okay. And they'll just try to do a couple more missions or something on whatever game.
That's my little
And
fella.
then it just be like, I go there, hey. Like, I shouldn't have to do that. You should look at me and your mom on the same page.
But see, mom's the nurturer.
That's true. Because I be coming at him, bro.
Bro, automatically
my oldest,
mom.
I was finna kick him out the house.
That time with mom.
Right. I was like, hey, you got it. Like, you ain't making moves.
So they like, yo.
Yeah. I'm like, you ain't making moves. You just in the house. You ain't about to be this, bro. You either doing this, you ain't listening to your mom. You do it. Hey, you must be grown. You must be ready to get out on your own. Let me start packing this bag for you. And he looking at me like, you ain't doing it, bro.
Hey,
I brought a suitcase up, started opening his drawers, putting stuff in them. I was just, bro.
Gave him an empty suitcase inside him outside.
Nah, because if he don't do it, he ain't gonna put nothing in there. I'm like, yo, you moving too slow.
That was my point. I was like, you going? I own all this shit, so here you go. And I want my suitcase back at the end of the day.
I was throwing him the bone, like, yo, I'm gonna help you out. You ain't even got to go out there naked. You can take the clothes we bought you. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know where you're gonna go. Hey, there's homeless people out front of the library. Go hang out with them, figure out what the moves are in Phoenix. But bro, he was packing shit up. My daughter come out the room crying. Oh, daddy's gonna kick him out. My wife, tell him to stop. He's really doing it. I'm just like,
it's the process he gotta go through.
Like, you sitting there and he sees, like, I'm like, this is why he be playing you.
Right.
Because you so emotionally attached to him. Like, you should play along. Like, you should know I'm not gonna let our son go out with nothing. This is the fear of him going out there. But y'all stopping that fear by like, Willie, stop.
Right.
Go.
He's like, oh, it's not gonna be serious. Mom's gonna talk him out of it.
Because I started doing that while she was asleep. This was me getting ready for work. So it's like 5:30 in the morning. I woke his ass up like boom, boom, boom.
Let's get it.
And so he packing his shit. She just like, what's going on? I'm just like, he packing his shit, getting out the house. Cause he ain't listening.
Right.
Like, he here rent free, not doing stuff. We just ask him to do these things. And he can't do that. The fuck about my house? You ain't contributing.
That's
and then I got a whole 2 other kids that I'm trying to raise, and they can't be looking up to the oldest like, oh, he cut up and he's still chilling. Because I ain't doing this for them. so you got to go.
And-
Because he legit was like shook until my wife went up there and was just like,
I called my mom and
no,
everything.
no.
I was like, you need to come get your
Yeah.
grandson.
So it was a whole thing. I was just like, hey, he gotta go. But like he knows his mom. Like, and as a man, like that's why I'm glad you're here. I think it hits different for women because like that is your firstborn.
Mhm.
Your first the
It
one who
breaks your
made you a
heart.
mom. You carried, nurtured all of that, went through all that pain to bring him into life. And to see like the man who was just like still there, but had like didn't go through any of the physical changes,
Mhm.
hormones or none of that, to just be like, hey, you got to get like you feel some type of way, like I got to shield my baby from this monster,
Right. No.
and as
He did on
in a
me, though,
single,
too.
in a single household, you don't have that dynamic. It's just the one way. You don't have the bad cop, good cop act. It's like you got to be both.
Right. And that's hard because there was 16 years difference between them. So I had the rebellious teen that didn't want nothing to do with the new baby
Right.
because he came too late.
Yep.
And then I got the baby who stuck to me like he's my Siamese twin.
Right.
So I started dreaming like mom and big sis. I guess he teetered more towards
The big sis.
So big bro be stepping in like, yo,
Right.
he told you to do something, stop doing it.
Right. It's not a suggestion.
And I'd be so stressed out. I'd be like, why you just can't do what I say?
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to my brother. He tuned in, Brian.
Hey, Brian, what's up with
Said
you?
he tried that with my daughter. She said that she didn't have any rights. So let me attest. Like my oldest niece, Najika, beautiful girl. She a senior this year. She living her best life. She is very like over dramatic.
Mhm.
So I could see my brother doing this, be like, hey, you gotta go. You ain't listening. Where are my rights? Where you know what I'm saying?
That's gonna be my little boy.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be like that. Because he is we are the world. I love everybody.
Right.
Get on him. He's gonna be like, wait a minute.
Flip it.
Yep. I got rights too.
Do you?
Right.
Do you? What are
I'm
they?
like, you got the right to leave.
But yeah, I mean I can't speak from experience, but just knowing people who are single parents going through that grind. And I think we talked a little bit about it on the second episode when you had your homegirl on there.
Oh yeah.
Talking about being the single parent and trying to find somebody that is
her kids
willing to do that. Like it is harder out here. I would say I'm speaking as somebody that if things didn't work out with me and my wife and I had to be single again, I can't find myself dating again. Because the way dating be acting out nowadays.
Yes, nowadays it's a mess because everybody's selfish. But even with that, women are still more inclined to accept a man with children than a man is to accept a woman with children.
Why do you think that is?
Because the whole drama thing. Oh, I don't want none. But even when you tell that person what the situation is between you and that other parent, they like standoffish about it because they not really sure if that's what they want. And I'm like, yo, I ain't got no time to waste.
Right.
I'm 47 years old. Either you in or you out. I gotta go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm after this little last dating, I'm just working on me, trying to, gain back all the energy and light that I gave out. And then I'm just all about podcasting, taking pictures with my little photo thing in my.
Like I said, I'm 100%
about that bullshit.
Protecting your energy. You know what I'm saying? Which is tough. Again, me just looking on the outside because like people be having needs. You know what I'm saying? And you a single parent out here, and there be like you could protect your energy, but you still want things. You know what I'm saying? And
I used to be one of those. We can be a friend for life or fuck for a night.
That's a quote.
They always they would always pick
put it on a shirt, but that's a goddamn quote. The fuck for the night.
I'm like, okay, because by then I was like, well, my one night stands don't ever stay one night anyway. So
right. Right.
And then I had this one incident. I had to tell a dude, stop, get off, you ain't doing nothing for me. And he was like, huh? I was like, mm-mm. And then he thought he was staying over. I was like, nah, you gotta go.
Oh.
There ain't no sleepovers. You was trash. And then another dude, we hadn't even got to that part. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is the alpha area here. What are you
Right.
doing? And he was like, well, I said, look, I ain't got no time to teach you. You got to go and don't call me no more.
Right.
He called me like a day or two later. I answered the phone. I was like, hello. He's like, yo, what's up? I was like, who this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was a straight nigga with it. And he was
feelings.
like, yo, you was
Hurting
serious?
feelings.
I was like, bye.
Yeah.
I had no time for that bullshit. And I'm starting to think that that's just how I need to be again. But I don't want to be having sex one night stands. So then one night stands is like, oh,
Right.
pick that night. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm not in the mood, so you got to go.
I mean, I think, like I said, like if I had to get back out to dating, I don't think I could do it.
I think you would be more successful than I would, but at the same token, it still would be tough.
But going out there, be like, yo, I got 2 kids at the age of like, you mid 40s and shit now.
Mm-hmm.
So like, who's really going to come in? Like, unless, like you said, because I got the 5-year-old. So it's like, hey, we got all of the school years with this, So this is what I'm bringing.
My kid just died in the third
This
grade.
is what I'm bringing to the table. Somebody my age would be like, I don't know about that. I'm ready to live my life. I'm trying to travel the world. I'm just like,
I live basically paycheck to paycheck because of the once a month.
Yep.
But I still try to reserve a little something for myself.
Right.
And because I don't have a savings, they be like, oh, well, you need to bring this. I mean, I've dated up to 62 and they still act like 20-year-olds. And I'm like,
well, that's dudes.
I ain't got no time for that.
That's dudes,
8
man.
years younger than my mama.
Still immature.
Right.
Again, fellas, we need to do better with our lives, man.
Out there in the mix.
I know there's good dudes out there, but overall, as a whole, we out here wilding.
Right. At any age.
Niggas be wilding.
The 60-year-olds be posted up at Wawa checking for chicks. I'm too old for them.
Yo, what's up with that shit? Like, I'm new to the area, right?
They checking for Hampton University chicks. I'll pay your tuition.
All the way up here?
I'll pay your tuition.
They better go hang out by the damn.
I done seen some.
What's that? Christopher Newport. Yeah, they better go hang out up there or one of these community colleges or something out there. I understand you want one of the sisters from the HBCU, but
you better have deep pockets,
bro,
taking all your Social Security.
Bro, they hit the game.
Yeah.
City girls make the style. They put them all on game. They know what they looking for at this point.
If they came out back when I was young, oh shit.
Anthems. Yeah, I would have been hit the game. Yeah.
A little too early.
A little too early. Yeah.
In my high school days.
Yeah.
Cardi B.
She was trying to tell y'all.
Up.
Nah, but yo, this has been a good time.
Yeah,
it has been a good time. Talked about some real stuff, and I'm glad because me and Black on the Smoke Pit, we'll talk about some controversy, like when they overturn Roe versus Wade for the abortion thing and everything. Like we try because we're both married. Look at it from try to be as objective as possible. Right. Having kids, having wives who went through that stuff, we're more sympathetic towards that side. Like a woman needs to be able to decide. Like there, especially in instances where the pregnancy was forced onto them, i.e. rape or something like that, or medically, this is going to be life threatening if you go out with this. Like, hey,
they went too far,
right? And they're just being like, bro, here, So it's one of them things. But I always felt like we were lacking because it's just two males talking about it. So no matter how outside the box we were thinking or how empathetic we were with our wives and seeing things from a female perspective, being not female, you can't genuinely give that perspective.
Because there's women out there that just, if they get pregnant, that's their thing. I'm gonna go to clear. I'm gonna go to clear.
Right.
And then there's men out there that really want their children, want the pregnancy, but the woman is so
right.
I don't want it. So it's real tough to capture everything. But I do believe that when it comes to rape, incest, when they need a DNC because the baby
Yeah.
is dead. And even some circumstances where they're maybe too young,
Right.
16 and below maybe, or 17 and below,
Right.
where at, I'll say, before 16 weeks they should cut the law off at there, because by 3 months that's a baby.
And low
I don't
key,
care
like my
how
wife,
alien it look,
right?
That's a baby. You done heard the heartbeat and everything.
And that's the thing. Like they like my wife didn't for sure know she was pregnant till like she was almost done with the first trimester. So that random whatever that ridiculous time, the deadline they gave, like 8 weeks or something like that, anything after that they got to keep the baby. I'm like, most women aren't knowing they're pregnant until well into the first trimester. So it's like in everybody's body is different. I get that, but I'm just like, you're just
and then
trapping
you gotta
people
factor in the economic aspect. Some people can't afford to have a child or another child, and
unless they jump on welfare, and then y'all tripping about the number of people on welfare. So it's,
and then it's okay, you got X amount of years, and then you need to get a job. Each state is different.
Right. The biggest thing I'm at is a lot of people just be like, well, they just put the baby up for adoption. You know how many kids are in the foster care system right now because of how much it costs to adopt? And the younger the baby is, the more it costs to adopt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
why should I have to pay you to get a child that needs
to take off of the government's dime? Like, why is it costing tens of thousands of dollars for me to take this baby, to then raise this baby?
Because they're just taking that money and rolling it into, food stamps.
That's another podcast, but
because I don't normally talk
about those things. And I would just like to ask you if one of those topics does come up again on a smoke pit that we want to discuss and need a female perspective on.
I would love to come on.
All right,
regardless, because I know all of the videos I seen, I said, "Damn, I should have been on that one." I got information. I got conversations.
100%. That's all we need to know, because we were out here just like, man, like, and me and Black could talk about after the show, like. It'd have been dope to have a female, but and then now that we got you in the fold, it's
y'all know my schedule now. Hey, high five, got this.
We in there. But yeah, thanks for having me over. It was one of them things that it just worked out. I was on leave. I'm like,
I'm grateful.
I done seen enough episodes. Let's get in and do something live. So no,
the last time I went live, it was with Black, and that was episode 6. So
right.
Hey, 6 episodes.
12. Look at that. Every 6 now. We need to do this more often, though.
Yeah.
If we do have one of those things where we need a female person, we'll try to work around and see if we can just have you come up to my crib and meet the fam and all that stuff, and then you can we can set up and just do it live from there with Black on the other end, obviously. But hey, look, he's still in here talking about
hey.
we good. But yeah, we already talked about it. We already speaking into existence. Next year, the little pod fest or whatever, we'll going down
to the second annual podcast festival hosted by
we going to where was it at?
The God in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. The first one's the 22nd. Damn.
Hey, turn the fuck up. Hey, 2024. We're going there. We're going to network. Like I said, we already making moves in 23. 24 is going to be even better. And bro, I'm just the actual patio. Yeah, I wish y'all could see this. This is the most genuine, authentic setting for a podcast. Because when she says the patio, it's literally on her patio, and it is dope. She has it all set up. Like, I wish I had a space just for me at my place for this. But thank you for having me over.
No problem. Anytime, fam. For doing that. That's all love. Well, all right, y'all. That's my time. Big thanks to Mac for coming through and being my company, all my listeners, all my messages. Please trust. I love it. I hope you enjoyed it. The patio conversation, the patio with Kim and Mac. Until next time, that's the patio with Kim and Company. Same company.
your ass was asleep.